Good afternoon, this is Paul from Australia. This video is going to be about buying yourself your first boat if you like your fishing and recreation, and some of the pitfalls you can come across, a lot of mistakes I've made over the years buying boats. So this video could be helpful for you if you're a bit of a novice and don't know much about boats. We'll run through a few things for you that could help you out. Well, the boat I've come up with, this is probably my last choice of boat, is an aluminium. It's a 4.4 metre long. It's a Van Diemen Seaman. It's aluminium. The first thing you've got to look at when buying a boat is the trailer, because you've got to tow the boat on the trailer. So it's got to be roadworthy. You want good tyres on it, mud guards, wheel bearings are done. This is a galvanised trailer. It's got footing there for you to say you can climb up into the trailer or onto the trailer. As you can see, it's all galvanised. It's a Dunbar. One of the most important things is that the tyre or the wheel is on the trailer. If they're not, sometimes you've got a habit of just throwing them in the boat or in the back of your vehicle. You forget your tyre or your wheel, get a flat tyre and you're in trouble. Good jockey wheel at the front to wind it up and down. Another most important thing is a good winch and winch rope on it. As you can see there, because that's what you've got to winch your boat in with and get it out with. Now the other thing is to look at is when buying a boat, is look underneath the trailer, look at the rollers. It's got to have good rollers. They've all got to be working, because that's what you get your boat off and on with. Your trailer's registered, it's approved. And you go down the back of your boat, having a look there, all your lights are working, all that's there ready to go. So the next thing you've got to look at is the motor. That's the most important thing. The motor's been serviced regularly. It's the right size motor for the boat. If they're underpowered, too small, underpowered, too big, they're overpowered, too heavy for the boat. A good prop on the boat for number one, it's not damaged. There's no damage on the leg of the motor. Have a good look at that. Have a look where it's all bolted in, that is bolted in properly to the transom, the back of the boat. All the cabling and all that's all fine. Have a good look at all that. Undo the case of the top of your motor, which you can unclip. Just have a look inside. You can start your motor up, and what you can use is what they call these earmuffs, and they go over the motor like such. Connect your hose up to it, so that turn the water on, they can start the motor and it will pump water out through the motor. Make sure the water pump's going. So make sure the motor's going, even if you can take the boat for a run somewhere before you buy it. So never buy it without starting the motor, or even just trying to take the boat somewhere that you can take it for a bit of a ride somewhere before you buy it. Right, there's a few things to look at. Next thing, when buying the boat, you've got to work out where you're going. Are you doing freshwater, seawater? How far are you going out? I mainly go to lakes and in estuaries, bays, probably a couple of kilometres offshore. I'm an avid fisherman. There's probably only two of us go, sometimes three, but sometimes on my own. So you've got to think of that. If the boat's too big and too heavy, you can't handle it on your own. You want something, if you're going on your own too, that you can handle it easy. What you're going to be towing it with, you know, what sort of vehicle. This vehicle here, as I said, is a 4.4 metre. You can tow it with a smaller car. You don't need a big car, it's light, it's easy. I can handle it on my own. There's enough room for 2 to 3 people in it. Looking at 4 people, it's probably a bit small, but ideal for 2 people, maximum 3. It does say 4 on there, but it is a little bit crowded. So the next thing looking at the boat is, how do you get into the boat? Well, this has got a ladder, as you can see. That's the transom of the boat, so you can climb up. Plenty of rails that you can grab hold of. So we're going to grab hold of the rail. We're going to climb up into the boat. So we've done so. We're in the boat. The next thing you've got to think to yourself, the main thing is if you're doing a lot of fishing and that sort of thing, what most people do use these runabouts for is you've got lots of freeboard. So when you're leaning over the boat, water's not going to come into the water, water's going to come into the boat and it's stable. When you're walking around the boat, it's stable. Next thing looking at a boat is storage. You need room to put fishing rods, tackle, ropes. We've even got room up under here, room under there, glove box, put your keys, your wallet, accessories. And this boat here's got a front compartment in it. It's got the windscreen in the front which we can unlatch. We can undo that. We've got room up here for someone to fish up in the front of the boat. It's got storage underneath here for our life jackets on that side there. And on this side here we've got the same again, where I've got waders and accessories in here. Now, our anchor sits up in there, so that's not interfering with anything. We've got an area here for a rope, a tie-off rope. Because the problem is, if you've got nowhere to store anything, you've got it all laying on the floor of the boat, it gets broken, it gets in the way. That is an issue. So probably the next thing we've got to look at is safety for your boat. You want all your safety gear. So you want your fire extinguisher when you're buying it, your first aid kit, your life jackets which we've got stored up there, plenty of ropes which you've got to have in case you break down or something happens, and the actual your fish finder or depth sounder, they are handy to have, knowing how deep you are. Most of them got navigation systems and they've got other systems on them as well, so they're more or less still a must to have. Now the other thing this boat has got is under storage fuel tank, 60 litres, which you can lift it up there to fuel it up. I don't normally use that because if you don't use all the fuel in it and you forget about it for a while, it goes stale and that can cause you problems with your outboard. Normally use a 20 litre tank, which will get 4 or 5 or 6 hours out of it without much worries. Your batteries, make sure you've got a good battery when you buy a boat. You get it and you go to start it, then the batteries dies on you and then you're stuck and stranded. This has got a dual system batteries on it. It can run that outboard to start it, but also it comes with an electric outboard which runs off the batteries, which I use for an auxiliary, and I do a lot of drift fishing and just trawling with it. So you've got to try and make sure you've got some sort of an auxiliary of some type with the boat, because if you break down, and normally if you're a couple of kilometres offshore, it's a long way to row or waiting for someone to come and tow you in. Now the other thing this has got, it's got a bilge pump, which is up here on there, and what that does, any extra water that goes into the boat and underneath the floor will pump out. It also comes with a deck wash, which was a bonus, that you can wash your hands, wash down the deck, your cutting board, and sort of keeping the boat clean. So that's a bonus. Next thing we're going to have a look at is, you might believe it or not, is the seating. Since when you go out fishing or out on the water and you're out for 4 or 5 hours, you've got to be comfortable. Sitting on hard seats for 4 or 5 hours, it becomes a bit of a chore after a while. Something that rotates around, that you can spin around watching your rods turn around. Plenty of leg room underneath to put your legs out, and put a bag or a bit of spare gear there as well. As you know, this boat here has got a spare compartment at the front there, so someone can sit up there, so it's ideal for 3 people. So that's, you've got to think about how many people are going with you. Now you want plenty of rails on your boat. If you buy a boat, you can put extra rod holders, tie off on those rails, so make sure you've always got rails on the side of the boat there. And we've got them at the front here as well. as you can see, and tie ropes off on these here as well, and we've got them down the back too, so the more places you've got to sort of tie stuff to or anchor stuff to on your boat is a bonus. So that's the main thing there. So, but access to get out of the boat, you want easy access so you can jump out in and easy, grab hold of rails, plenty of rails to grab hold of. This boat here, we can do the ladder up and just sort of push that back into there. But I would say an ideal estuary boat for a couple of people. It's light to tow, you can tow it with a small vehicle. Aluminium is light. You can launch off sort of off the shore with an aluminium. Fiberglass you can't, a lot heavier, it damages the hull. But I'd suggest a 4.45 metres, 4.6, 4.7 at the biggest. 4.2s are okay, but that type of boat, if you're a novice. But the main thing is make sure you've got all the records for the outboard, that it's been serviced regularly. That's about all I can tell you. You can see we've got rod holders there, we've got rod holders there, we've got rod holders here. So I hope that's helpful to people that are out looking to buy themselves a boat. Thanks.